Hello again from my front porch. I am very pleased this Friday, Iowa morning. I am very pleased for many reasons, and I'm going to go over some of them with you now. But one big reason that I'm very pleased is because right now, looking outside, there's still no snow. Now that's a big deal because last night there was snow in the forecast. In fact, we were supposed to have I think like half an inch or more that was supposed to accumulate here in Des Moines. And it did flurry a bit. I remember last night I saw some, but none of it accumulated and it never turned into what they predicted. And so I'm looking out, I'm still seeing the same not snow. No ice, no, doesn't even look like it rained. I mean, it's just, so again, as I've talked about before, the part of me that doesn't like snow is happy about this. Now, there's the other part of me that recognizes this isn't really normal, and we're probably going to pay for that in other ways, but I am enjoying the fact that this morning as I get up and head off to an event that I'm going to this morning, I don't have to deal with not just my own driving in potentially slicker conditions, but more importantly the driving of everybody else, all the morons and idiots who'd be on the road who seem to forget that when the roads get a little bit wet, when they get a little bit slick, you got to drive smarter. They just seem to forget that from year to year, and then those of us who don't forget that have to compensate for their bad driving too. I don't have to deal with that because now everything's fine. Now the sky overhead is very overcast. It is very dark sky. And that probably means more precipitation, maybe rain, maybe something else depending on the temperature. So, it could be that we still get some of that nasty stuff. It is possible, but right now, it's not an issue. So, yay, I'm very pleased with that. Excuse me. Now, moving on to other very pleased things, I was very pleased this week to actually find out that there's this other learning. I've presented at ATD's International Conference and Expo for several years, but there's another big learning conference. In fact, it's just called Learning with the relevant year. So this year it was Learning 2018. Big international conference, a lot of people that go to that one as well. And ATD will set up their own area, their own bookstore area where they're selling their literature and stuff at this big learning conference. And I was very pleased to find out that my book, this wonderful little thing that I keep promoting, that my book actually was a top seller at this major learning conference. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know how many were sold. Did they sell 10 books out of the bookstore and 5 of them were this one? I don't know. I'm hoping it's a little bit more than that, but still, the point is that there's a list of really good other books. The four that ATD Press noted, promoted out on Twitter and everything, that these were the top sellers from that event, and this one listed first. I don't know if that means it was the highest. I don't know. I don't know what the listing means, other than this was one of those that were noted as top sellers. So I'm excited about that. Not because, oh, hey, people are buying my book, yeah. But no, I'm excited because the whole reason I wrote the thing was because I wanted other training people, and more importantly, business people who don't really know that much about training but know they need to improve their training somehow. This book is intended to be a guidebook for either of those groups to build and create their own structured on-the-job training program that actually creates a learning framework that help people quickly and with high quality get into a new role and be productive and feel good about what they're doing. That's the whole point of this book. So the more I hear about people buying it, the more excited I am that now people are getting it, they're reading it, and they're putting it to use. And I think that's fantastic. I like that. Makes me very pleased. Now, I also mentioned about ATD's International Conference. This next year coming up in May, it'll be, because it moves around, about 5 cities. So every 5 years they'll come back to the same one, but every year it moves to a different major city. This year it's back at Washington, D.C. And I love when it's in Washington, D.C. because I just love going to Washington, D.C. A nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. Man, I should have had some water before I did this. But anyway, the reason I'm mentioning the conference is because, yes, indeed, I am getting to present yet again at the International Conference coming up next May. This will be my 4th year in a row. And of course, I'm presenting on the topic of structured on-the-job training. And this will also be the year that at the bookstore, this is ATD's own event, and at the bookstore, they will have an author book signing time for you to sit at this little table and sign books if people buy them. So here's hoping that 1 or 2 people show up there, so I'm not sitting there alone all by myself. But still, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the opportunity to do the book signing thing. I'm kind of excited about that. That still is a little bit weird. But I am excited about getting a chance to present again for the 4th year in a row. I am really, really very pleased with that too. That's really great. Also, next February, obviously before next May, I also got notified that the local ATD chapter has their annual professional development day. And I was notified that I'm going to get to do a couple of things, 2 things at that particular event. One, I'm going to be facilitating a table discussion time where they have these timed frames where they say, here's a topic at a table, and there is a facilitator at that table that facilitates the discussion around that topic. And then there's a certain amount of time, they call time, and then everybody gets up and moves to a different tables. And I think they do that 3 or 4 times, so you could, so the individuals, the attendees, can tap into various different topics and have little brief discussions about them. And so I'm going to be leading a table talk discussion on structured on-the-job training. I also am going to be co-presenting with just an incredibly smart and intelligent and fantastic lady here, based here in Des Moines, but who works all around the country, Sarah Ennis, who is the president of SparkPoint Incorporated. That she does tremendous work with soft skill type training, especially leadership training at middle, upper level management. But I mean, not just that. She's got some strength there, but just incredible focus on how training really should be done and what the role of training is. And she and I have compared notes many times, and we're on the same wavelength. We talk the same language, and that's just so wonderful to get to talk to somebody who gets it the way I get it. Now, I had actually met her this last February, earlier this year, when she presented, and she was presenting a topic I was interested in seeing, so I sat in on her session, and I was blown away because I was like, she sounds like me. I could be saying this. She's articulating the way I feel about this stuff. Yes, and so we've struck it off. We've hit it off since then, and so now I'm very excited that this next February she and I are going to collaborate together on doing a session, and it's going to be interesting. I'll tell you more about that as more develops going on. But I'm really excited about that because again, I respect her immensely. She is really good, and I'm thrilled and honored to get to partner with her to do that session. Speaking of Sarah Ennis, I'm also very pleased that this morning, the reason I'm kind of dressed up a bit is because I'm going to a half-day workshop that the local ATD chapter is hosting. And this half-day workshop is about organizational teaming, and I'm really intrigued by some of the things that we're talking about there. But The presenter of this particular workshop session is none other than Sarah Ennis of SparkPoint. So I just know I'm going to enjoy it because, again, I know that what she's going to present, it's going to register with me. It's going to connect. It's going to be exactly what I want to hear. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very pleased with that too. So that's all going on. Now, coming up, just as a quick reminder for those of you in the within driving distance of Des Moines area, December 1st is when I have my next book signing here locally. That'll be coming up at the Barnes & Noble out at Jordan Creek Mall. Yeah. I don't know why I stumbled around. But anyway, there's a Barnes & Noble out at Jordan Creek Mall, and I will be out there on December 1st. I think from 1 to 3. I'll get the more confirmed information, make that available here on maybe another video and stuff too. But the reason I'm emphasizing it not only is so you plan to be there if you want to attend, but also again, just like the last time, I'm only going to have a small number of the books myself that you can buy on site. So I would encourage you to go out online at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, at td.org/SOJT, wherever, an online bookseller, and buy a copy, order it now, get it delivered to you, and just bring it with you. That way you're assured that you get one. Because from what I understand, there's actually going to be multiple authors who are going to be doing book signings at that same time, at the same date, different emphasis areas, different types of book. Like I talked to one lady who does historical fiction, and which I love. I think that's awesome stuff. And she's going to be an author who's going to be there doing book signing. One of the other ones there. I think there's a children's book author and at least one other, and I don't remember what that was. But still, so I'm very pleased about that too, because you might be thinking, "Whoa, wait, that's not fair to you, Paul. You should be getting the No. See, this book, while I think it's a great book, it's very, very specialized too. It's you have to be interested in this kind of thing in order to find this kind of book useful to you. But when you're interested in this kind of stuff, walking into a Barnes & Noble and looking for this may not be top on your priority list. But if there's multiple authors doing book signing all at the same time, then there's more of a reason to draw a broader variety of people in. And somebody that goes and gets the historical fiction one, for example, they may get that, and then as they're walking by where I'm sitting, they go, "Oh, learning while working, what's this all about?" And they may find that it's of interest to them too. So I am very pleased that this one is going to be set up that way, doing that kind of approach. So I'm excited about all of those things. Last thing I'm going to put in the plug for that I'm very pleased about is tomorrow, here on Saturday, I get to be the Master of Ceremonies for an event hosted by the Filipino-American Society of Iowa, based here in Des Moines. And that event is going to be a salute to the veterans, and not just like Filipino veterans, but the Filipino-American Society believes very strongly in just supporting veterans in general. And so I've been asked to be the Master of Ceremony for this event tomorrow, and I'm very honored to be doing that because I agree. I enjoy honoring veterans as well because of the sacrifices they've made, even if they haven't served in wartime. Still, the fact that they were willing to serve without knowing what might happen while they were serving means that they were willing to sacrifice that part of their life, at least that period of time, on behalf of the rest of us. And I really respect that. I greatly appreciate that. So I'm very honored. I'm very pleased to be the MC of this tomorrow. As things have evolved, I have also, I'm going to wear a few other hats too. I'm going to be doing the national anthem to kick the thing off. I will also be doing the opening prayer. And there are going to be a couple of little spots where I'm going to do 2 or 3 songs. So I'll be singing myself as well. But my main responsibility is Master of Ceremonies, and so that's what I'm going to mainly focus on. But I've got these other elements in there that I'll be doing as well. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I get to do a lot of awesome, cool stuff. So yeah, like I said, I'm very pleased that life is like, and I should have thrown in, I was very pleased that this week I got to fly in our corporate jet again too. I haven't been able to do that now for a while because my schedule for traveling just hasn't involved needing to travel that anywhere, but I needed to go down to Wichita to do some training, and the corporate jet was flying, and so I was like, I'm getting on board. So I jumped on there with our division president, our Omaha division, and some other folks, said the safety manager and our purchasing department manager, and all of those individuals, and myself. We all got on the corporate jet, flew down to Wichita and back, and that was, I tell you, you get really spoiled when you fly that way. It is so much quicker than flying commercial. And I think a little more comfortable and a little much more relaxed. And then on the way back, it was very cloudy. There's cloud cover, and so it's really cool when when the little plane goes up and you just break through the clouds and then level off above the clouds, and it's like, oh, this is really awesome. But on the way back, I got to see just beautiful sunset from outside the plane window, and I thought I thought it was really incredible. It was really beautiful, and I really don't pay enough attention to sunsets, but I was very pleased that I got to see that one. It was really beautiful, especially up above the clouds that way and seeing it that way. Anyway, as I said, I have an event to get off to today, and so I better be getting off to it now. I would hate for Sarah to be upset if I show up late. That would be bad. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. You all have a fantastic rest of the day and a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you next time, right here from my front porch.